welcome back, everybody, to Chatter in the Swamp, your podcast for everything Keene SwampBats and the NECBL. I'm your host, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and we have another week of NECBL play under our belts, and the SwampBats still sitting pretty atop of the leaderboards, sitting 4 games above the Nighthawks in the North Division, and leading the league with the best record, 12-2. Now, over to the Player of the Week for the SwampBats, it's John Malone. John Malone made 2 relief appearances this past week, and he tallied 9 strikeouts in his 5 innings of work. And most importantly, was his save coming into the game in game 2 of the doubleheader against the Valley Blue Sox, where he worked 3 innings in that one, recording the save, and he did not allow a single run this entire week. Now, Malone credits a lot of that success, especially in that outing against the Valley Blue Sox, to choking up on the slider. Stephen Bangs, the pitching coach, helped him, discover a different grip on his breaking ball, which he really had a lot of success with, freezing batters throughout that outing. So the Swamp Bats went on this past week to break their franchise record in consecutive wins as they beat the Upper Valley Nighthawks in game 1 of the doubleheader, and that stood at 11 straight wins. But in game 2 of the doubleheader, they fell just short as that win streak came to an end, just tying the NECBL record for consecutive wins. But they bounced back on Saturday and got another win against the Bristol Blues. Now, a lot of the recent success for the Swamp Bats have been coming from the offensive prowess that they had, which makes me really excited to introduce this week's guest. All right, so I'm here with our first player guest, Gabe Pitts, the outfielder for the Swamp Bats. What's going on, Gabe?
What's up, Ryan? How we doing?
I'm great, dude. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to be here. It's my first podcast.
And
So,
how's the summer been so far with the Bats, man?
summer's been great, man. I mean, this is probably, I got to say, this is definitely like the best team that I've been a part of, like summer ball wise. Um, and it's just been great to get to learn from all the older guys. Like I'm obviously, one of the younger guys on the team, and obviously being able to learn from the coaches as well too. This is also my first time playing in NECBL, so it's
Mm.
pretty good league. I think people have it like right behind the Cape, and in terms of like some of the best
Oh yeah,
leagues for college baseball players in the country. So
definitely.
I'm having a great time. And I definitely it's definitely been a learning experience. Been some ups and downs. Being able to just bump up the competition. But it's been good. I'm having a good time here. So.
And how does it feel personally just playing the NECBL?
It feels great, man. Like I used to a couple years ago. I used to obviously. I feel like every baseball player, every athlete, like they have their kind of journey mapped out, or at least like goals mapped out and what they want to do. And one of mine was like, all right, like I want to go play in the NECBL. After when I get to like a certain age or whatever it is. So that was definitely a big goal of mine, and I got the opportunity from Mr. Watterson and kind of just ran with it. So I'm having a blast here, and yeah, that's kind of how I got here. But it's been great. A lot of good players on our team too. So
Yes, sir. Let's go back from the beginning though. How was it like growing up in
Tyngsboro, So
Tyngsboro and then playing at Worcester Academy as well? How did that shape your baseball path?
yeah, so I will say like I went to Tyngsboro public schools, so like the elementary school and the middle school, and then it was definitely a tough decision. Like I definitely miss all the Tyngsboro people. It was a great town. It's kind of a small town, so everybody knows each other. It's a great community, and so it was definitely a tough decision to make the switch from like Tyngsboro Middle School to Worcester Academy. That's where I went to high school, which is a prep school. But I definitely feel like it was the right decision. Like now after you know graduating from there, um, but it was definitely a little tough. Leaving the friends behind, and obviously stepping into like a new environment. And it was definitely a really like they have a really good baseball team over there. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to make the switch, is just to kind of get myself exposed to just a little bit some better competition.
Mm.
And I remember I went over there. So I went over there after eighth grade, and my freshman year of high school, it was definitely eye opening. Like I played like a lot of sports in high school. So I played 3 sports. Like my freshman year, I played soccer, and then after soccer, I wasn't too good at soccer, but after soccer, I went to basketball, and then obviously basketball's in the winter and the baseball's in the
Yeah,
spring. So
you
I was
played all
doing
year
it.
round.
Yeah, I was doing it like back to back to back. So I didn't know how much it really took to like really be good at baseball. Baseball was kind of always my number one sport. It was like between baseball and basketball. But yeah, I kind of just rolled up in a tryout. So I was like, all right, like let's see how we do. Like I'm here for a reason. And
Right.
um, I remember we went down to our tryouts were in Florida, spring, kind of like a high school spring training. I guess a lot of prep schools do that.
That's bougie
Yeah,
for
it's yeah,
high school.
it's a little
Big-
bougie. Yeah, so yeah, we went to Florida, and I remember the first time they put me in a varsity game. It was like a pinch run appearance, and there was a lefty on the mound, and I mean for those people who don't know baseball, lefties it's pretty tough to steal off the lefty pitcher because they're facing you, they can just lift their leg, they can decide to go to home, or they can throw the ball over. So it's a little bit harder to steal off the lefty. So they wanted me to steal, and I got picked off,
Man,
and I remember I was like, dang, I think that was the only experience that I got in a varsity game, and
that's it.
that well, yeah, because they had like a JV varsity. That's how it
Right.
worked,
Yeah.
like in spring training.
Mm.
But that was like my only appearance, and I kind of messed up my only opportunity. And I ended up so freshman I ended up getting cut for varsity, and
Just by getting picked off.
no, it was a lot of reasons. Like I was really undersized too. Like I was probably 100 and maybe 40 pounds. Like I was really
I
skinny.
mean,
You know.
you were ninth grade, right? So
Yeah, I think I was 14 in ninth grade, so I was definitely a little bit smaller.
yeah,
It was between me and this other freshman who were gonna make the team, and I didn't end up making it. But it was definitely like it was. I think it all worked out for a reason. Like I kind of from that point on, like it kind of just motivated me to like, all right, like if I want to play this game, like I really gotta like lock it in. Like
yeah.
there's levels to this. I remember even that team, like they had like couple kids go Division One, couple other kids go to some other college schools, and actually our shortstop is now in the big leagues from that team.
Really?
He's the third baseman for the Cubs, Matt Shaw. So
Oh, you got to
yeah,
play with Matt
first round
Shaw.
pick out of Maryland. So we had some big
There's
dogs
no
on that
joke.
team, and like being able small town Tyngsboro, which isn't really well known for its baseball. Like we've definitely had some good baseball players in the past, but being able to just go from there to getting thrown into that was like super eye opening. But that's kind of where it all started, and then from that point on, like I just developed this work ethic. Like all right, like I see what it takes to get to this level. Like I see how good these players are. And, I really got to start grinding. I got to put on weight, and
Yeah,
just gotta get to the grind, man.
putting on
So
the weight is definitely like
it's hard.
it's a grind because I knew how that was like in my career with football too. Like
Hmm.
it's not easy trying to gain weight.
Nah, man, it's hard. Like just force eating all the time and all that type of stuff. But I mean, it's if you wanna be good, you got to make sacrifices, and part of that
Hmm.
is like it's definitely part of it. So yeah, but yeah, from that point on, like just developed this work ethic, and then sophomore year, COVID hit. That was my sophomore year of high school. So I think it was like the end of it, the last couple months we weren't in school, so I really had like a excuse me, I really had like a lot of time to kind of just focus on like my grind and just focus on just straight up baseball because we weren't in school or weren't seeing anybody, and
Yeah,
that's when I really got into like lifting, and I was just going to the field. We had like a field back in my town, like probably 5 minutes from my house, so it was really close. And they had like a little cage, and I would just go there and hit by myself. And um,
in
this
quarantine you had a
is
lot of time, right?
yeah, totally. And before like this is before actually I could even drive, so I'd have my mom drive me to the field, and when I couldn't get there, I would just like straight up hit in the backyard. Like I had like a little net and like a tee, and I would just like take swings. And I'm like, all right, like I have no idea how I'm gonna get to the collegiate level. Like that was my goal, is to play D1 baseball, but I'm just gonna keep grinding, and we'll see how it works out. And that's just kind of like what I did. I just kept working and just kept hitting every day. Um, and then yeah, like after it was like that next year, that next summer, um, where stuff started to open up, like, and schools started to reach out, and I remember that was like a pretty exciting time. Like, that's all the work starting to pay off, right? And I still had more work to do. Like, I was probably like 155 at this point, so I wasn't, quite like where I needed to be. Still a little bit skinny, but my thing was always just like my speed, and that's what schools, particularly like. So
Mm.
I remember I'd go to like these showcases, and we'd run like a 60 or whatever, and I would always be like the fastest one, and that's what kind of like got my like recruiting attention a little bit, um, and but yeah, so that started to like open up doors. Schools started to reach out, and a lot of schools still told me like they're like like we love the speed, like we love you as a player, but you gotta bulk up, man. Like
Yeah.
you can't be 150 pounds
I mean, they want
playing.
you to be fast though, so it's like tough. So you don't want to like
Yeah,
lose that
exactly.
step, you know?
Right, right. So that was definitely like I knew it. Like I was like, all right, like you look in the mirror and I'm like, all right, like I'm a twig. I gotta get some weight on here. So I still kept lifting, still kept working, and then I think it was that winter of like my junior year. The school I'm at now, CCSU, Central Connecticut,
Hmm.
they offered me a scholarship, and I just kind of ran with it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I had like one other offer, but it wasn't. I don't think it was any like scholarship money. It was kind of just like a spot on the team from VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, and they were a pretty good baseball team too. But I didn't really know like what the investment was for them. And then a couple months later, their whole coaching staff ended up leaving. So that was actually good. I didn't go there because I probably would have had to like decommit and find somewhere else. I don't know
Hmm.
if I would have found somewhere else. I would have been, a mess. But yeah, I kind of ran with CCSU and that opportunity, man, and that's kind of how I got here today. So
Yes, sir. And
yes,
going
sir.
into 2024, you didn't make an appearance in 2024. How'd you stay about that mentally and physically? How'd you stay focused?
Right. Yeah, that was definitely tough. So redshirting for those who don't know, obviously you don't play. You're still on the team, but I kind of knew going in like Central, man, like we got a good team. Like yeah, we compete in the NEC, so it's a little bit of a smaller D1 conference. Um, but I mean, we've had some good teams. Like I think in the past, let's see, the past 4 years we've gone to two regionals, including this past season. So like we've had some good teams, man, and they bring in some good players. Like they know what they're doing over there. But yeah, I mean, I knew that. So it was a tough situation, man. Like we had, I don't know what the exact number was. I think we had like 10 or 12 outfielders, man. Like the outfield was just packed. Like
Dude.
it was a tough situation, and I mean, I went in there and I knew like, all right, like I don't know what it's gonna be like. I'm just gonna go and play every day, and hopefully earn some time. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I ended up that fall. I think D1baseball.com, like they they did like a little article, a little write up about our team, and I was like one of the top newcomers that they wrote up, and they said that Gabe Pitts could find playing time in the outfielder, at second base, and fast forward to the season, that didn't end up happening. I think
Mm.
the big honestly, I appreciate it because a lot of guys, unfortunately, like they'll get thrown out there their freshman year and maybe only get like 10, 15, 20 at bats, which I mean isn't really a lot. Like if you play a full season every game, it's like probably 200 at bats, I
Yeah.
think, or maybe a little bit over that. Um, so I talked to my head coach, and he said like, we could throw you out there, but I mean, we'd probably only get like 13, 15 at bats, and I'm like, I don't know if that's worth the whole year,
True.
And I actually appreciate it because a lot of schools unfortunately don't give this choice to athletes. Is he gave me a choice? He's like, hey, like I can throw you out there for a couple games. I mean, we got a couple seniors out there, so that's all I can really do.
And burn your
Um,
red shirt, and you don't want that to happen.
yeah, so he's like, I throw you out there if you want, or you could preserve your year. And I really wanted to be out there because I mean, I'm a competitor, man. Like
Yeah.
I want to help the guys win, and I don't know.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't have. I probably wasn't ready to be out there. Um, which is good that I didn't say yes, and I ended up saving that year. And it was definitely tough, like you're just sitting there, like you go through warm ups and everything, and just to kind of sit. But I think everybody's got to like, not everybody, but I mean everyone kind of goes through it where you got to like sit and wait your time and just keep working. And I mean for all those in college sports, like there's always seniors ahead of you when you get there, and your first year. Um, so it was definitely like a little tough, right, sitting out freshman year. But I definitely was able to learn a lot, and I still took BP every day, and they actually let me travel with the team as well too. So
Hmm.
I saw how it all worked before actually kind of you know getting on the field and competing. And I think that was important because it's a new step and it's a new level, and games played a little bit different, a little bit faster pace, right? Obviously, D1 baseball is definitely a big step up from high school ball,
Oh yeah.
you know, and so that was definitely, yeah. It was good, and obviously good and bad. Like, it was a little tough, but I think that sitting out that year, I got a lot better coming into this year, um, which was actually, yeah. So this year was my first year on the field, but
Gotcha. And then 2025, this year came around. You were in the NEC Player of the Week honors in April. So what clicked for you in that time?
yeah, man. So it was I started off pretty hot, like first probably I'd say first month and a half, first 2 months. So that was cool. Like I felt I was feeling really good, and especially after that week where I got player of the week, like I was feeling like, all right, like not that I had it all figured out because nobody ever has, their sport figured out, but I was like, all right, like I'm starting to find some consistency. I just gotta like obviously maintain this throughout the rest of the season. And it was funny because that was such a high point, and then like right after that, it like just fell straight into a slump.
Really?
Yeah, for the second half of the year.
I mean, that's the game, though.
Yeah, and it was tough, man. Like it was probably like the biggest slump I've ever been in. I think I was like 0 for 30 or something. Like it was rough. Um, and I was like, dang, man. Like I don't know. I remember just feeling like I don't know what happened. Like literally a week ago or 2 weeks ago, as the weeks kept adding up. Like 2 weeks ago, I was performing. Like I was playing every day, and now obviously to be in the lineup every day, you got to perform.
Yeah.
Um, So that was definitely tough, and I think part of it was definitely just I was overthinking a lot at the plate and just trying to do too much. Like we had a really good team this year, man. Like I love all those guys at CCSU. So every time I'd get up, like we'd have guys on base. So I think I was always trying to just do too much instead of just all right, just put the ball in play. Like just put the ball in play, use your speed, which is where that's like my best game. And that was definitely like it was definitely humbling experience, right? Going from player of the week to slumping like right after that. But I definitely feel like it needed to happen as much as like I wanted to be out there helping the guys every day. And it needed to happen because I mean you want to play baseball, man, you got to be mentally tough.
Gotta.
Like
Yeah.
it's hitting is never like a straight up climb. You know what I mean? Like there's always gonna be some ups and downs and stuff like that. So it was definitely a learning experience. And I mean hoping next year it's gonna force me to just put more work and just focus on finding that like everyday consistency
Yes, sir.
and not getting in your head, just kind of freeing your mind up and being able to go out there and play and not letting like bad games stack upon themselves. Um, so that was how it's kind of funny. That was how the second half of the year went. But I mean, I think it's because it's bound to happen to everybody. Like
Exactly.
it's crazy because maybe not everyone goes through like a over 30. That was a pretty bad stretch. But I've talked to so many of the guys here, like on our team even, and just seeing what their struggles were at school. And I mean, we got some guys that raked at school. But I mean, everybody at some point like went through a little struggle period, whether it's a pitcher or position guy, and being able to hear what it's like for them is pretty cool because like I definitely felt like I was like alone you know what I mean, throughout the struggle, like, oh, this is happening to nobody, but it's, believe it or not, like it's baseball, man. It even happens to, the best, the guys in the big leagues, and just I think what it teaches you is just seriously, like, you just got to be mentally tough, and like you got to just forget about it, because we're playing a game of failures. You're gonna fail 75% of the time, and it's frustrating, but you got to keep your head up, and I think that was honestly the biggest lesson I've learned. And even like when I have a tough game up here in Keene, it's like, all right, like you got to forget about it. Like tomorrow's a new day. Like we got 30 something more games, 30 more some
Exactly.
games, and obviously you don't want to think, all right, like I'm just gonna go up there and waste at bats. But I mean, you got to just forget about it, man. Like you're not gonna get hit every time as much as we all want to at the plate. It's not possible. Nobody's done it. And that's kind of like what I'm taking into this summer. And I mean, so far, it's been pretty good, and I feel like that mindset is I'm finding that more everyday consistency. And yeah, that's what you got to do, So that
No,
was how that second half of the year went. It was a little bit different, but yeah.
and I know you're a great defensive guy. I mean, you have that glove, you have that speed out in the outfield. But when you were slumping like that, did you ever let it affect like your outfield skills and bring it into your fielding?
Right, right. So I try not to, man. Like obviously it's very easy, and I probably had one or two moments where I got really upset in the dugout, but other than that, I just tried to stay quiet to the best of my ability, right? And because something bad could happen at the plate, and then the next play you're out in the field and you have a chance to make a really amazing catch or whatever it is. And um, I think I had two errors this season, so for the most part I was pretty solid in the outfield. Like honestly, they were pretty avoidable. Like I kind of did it to myself. One of them was I'm sure you guys know from the trivia that we did, or baseball confession questions a couple
Oh
weeks ago.
yeah.
Yeah, I got a ball got lost in the sun, and I mean I probably should have had that. Like it was a routine play, and I don't know if that's me being a young guy. Like I just let it drop, and then the other one I had one take a weird hop, and I wasn't really in the best position to kind of block it. Um, so now I was definitely, I feel like yeah, I did those two errors to myself, but it's like it's all like a learning experience, right? Like all right, like next time something goes in the sun, like I got to really block it out and create angles, like as hard as it can be, And sometimes like the sun just catches it, but I mean, it's definitely an extent where you can block out the sun, and obviously position your body to block the ball if it's like a hard hit ball. Like we play on turf, the ball skips a lot, so being able to kind of block it um, and not create errors, right? So yeah, to answer your question, I feel like for the most part, like I didn't really take it to the field. Like I made most of my plays. I don't know how many putouts I had, um, but yeah, you just have to wash it clean, man. Because if your head's not in the right, you know, mindset, like going into the field, like you get a ball smoked at you, and then you make an error, and then it's just like,
Piling up.
yeah, it's piling
Yeah.
up, and obviously you don't want that to happen, man. You gotta. I think it's such a big responsibility as an outfielder and an infielder as well, but especially in the outfield, like the ball gets hit out there, man. Like you gotta really knock it down for your pitchers, and I think that's so important, because they're going out there, they're doing their thing, right? We had some really good arms this year at Central, but yeah, just being able to just make plays and save runs, and I think like if you can take away extra base hits in the outfield, like those potential 1-2 runs here, like help win games. So that was my mindset going into the outfield. Like my defense is definitely way better than my offense right now. Offense is definitely I've hitting it's been like a little bit up and down for me the past like 2 years being in college. Like I've had some really like good consistent moments, and then some not so good consistent moments. So honestly like a little streaky. So I'm just trying to still work on finding that consistency to be an everyday guy coming into next year. But yeah, I'd say that's probably the mindset. Going out in the field, like you just gotta. It's easy to think about. Dang man, I just struck out. Like I just struck out on 3 pitches or whatever it is. For bat at bat, but you gotta just like wipe it clean, man. And
Next page. Turning
and
them.
I also think like I forgot to mention like you really have to. It's easy to sit there and pout, right? Like, and it doesn't look good. And there's definitely like, there's gonna be moments where you're sitting there, right? Like after a bad play or after a bad at bat. But it's really like we had a lot of problems with it my first year in college. Like, and it really shows when the guys like, if even one guy on the team is just sitting there pouting or whatever it is. Like, I really tried to, and I'll be honest, I didn't do it every time. There's probably like one or two moments where, I was sitting down like a little bit upset with myself. Um, but I really tried to every time I had like a bad at bat or whatever it was while I was slumping to really be on the fence and, cheering on the team and just keeping that energy up in the dugout because that stuff is so like is so important. If you see one guy pout and it just like I don't know what it does. It's weird, man. Like it just changes the
Such
whole
a mental game, especially baseball.
totally. It changes the whole dynamic of the game. If you have somebody pouting or whatever it is. So, um, and we, obviously we made like a big run this year. Like and heading into the playoffs. Like I think we were the 1 or 3 seed. So we were like we had a shot to really win it all. And um, teams playing well. Like, we had, I don't know if you knew, we had like the best hitter in the nation, Aiden Redahan. He's probably going to get drafted. Like,
This year?
yeah, I think he batted like 450 something for the year. So he had the highest batting average in all of baseball.
And he played all year, batting
Yeah,
450.
yeah, it's insane, man. And he was like, I remember him like, um, he was one of our captains. Just he always like he stayed even and he always just had this intensity and was always bringing guys up. And I remember he was like, "All right, like dude, like we're gonna need you, like stay in there, like stay up." And just and obviously he had a couple like he had some bad games. Everybody has bad games, right? And I remember he just always stayed up and he always stayed at it. And like that stuff is just so like important for a team, honestly. And I think that's why we did so well this year. Is like you gotta stay in it, man. If like one person's bringing you down, it's gonna bring the whole group down.
Yeah.
And that was like my goal. Like, all right, like I know I'm struggling here, but man, we're winning games. Like we're making a run. Like we're in the like now we're in the the NEC tournament, and then obviously we ended up winning it in like a elimination match championship. So it was like a crazy setting. Um, but I mean, you got to just why you struggling, man? It's the hardest thing. Is to just really stay up, and you got to just honestly be unselfish and still be a team guy, right? Whether you're doing good or doing bad. So that's definitely I feel like that's what I learned. Like what I learned this year is, and I think that's huge for like the overall success of any team that you're on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And did you take that mentality from any other sports? Because you played a lot of sports growing up, you said, especially basketball. And I know basketball can be a frustrating game. You miss a few shots. Do you take
Right.
that mentality from the other sports and apply it, you think?
Yeah, definitely. And I wasn't really like, I played on a really good high school basketball team at Worcester. Like like pretty much our whole starting lineup went D1. I think we had a kid go to Duke, Marquette, Georgetown, let's see, Stonehill, Colgate. We had a bunch of guys out of there. At one point, there's a kid going to Iowa. So I didn't really play a lot. But I mean, just even being on a team, right? You're still on a team. Like, um, earlier on in high school, like before I was on varsity, I was playing. But yeah. I mean, you miss a shot, like you got to just keep going, man. Like
Mm.
it's especially basketball is more fast paced, right? Like you got to just um, you got to forget about it and I mean move on to the next moment. I think that's so important. Especially in baseball, man. Like it's bound to happen. Like
Yeah.
no matter what you do, like you could have the most perfect BP and still go 0 for 5 or 0 for 4 in the game, which is insane.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. So
What positions do you play in basketball and maybe even soccer?
I was listen, man. I'm like probably 5'10", so I was short. I was a straight guard, man. Yeah, we had guys that were like 6'4", 6'5".
Wait,
Couple,
you're what, 5'10"?
yeah, I'm probably like maybe 5'10", 5'11". I'm not really
I
that
took you at
tall.
6'1". I took you at
Yeah, I
6'1".
mean, I tell people I'm 6 foot with the cleats on. Give me a little bit of an extra boost. But yeah, I mean, I was dude. Like we had some tall kids on that basketball team. So,
Right.
um, but yeah,
How's the shot? How's the jumper?
the jumper it was okay, man. Like I wasn't really the best basketball player. Like I was athletic, and I mean I had some pretty good bounce. I will say like that's one thing I'm pretty confident in. Like I could get up there. Um, but I mean I was just like an athletic guy. Like I just was trying to stay athletic, and um, I remember watching like the varsity team at Worcester like my freshman year. I'm like, dang, these kids are dunking and layup lines. I've never seen anything like this.
You don't think?
And well, I'm saying like I mean going from and this is no hate, just going from like a small public school to like a
Yeah.
prep school basketball. It's just different story. And I remember I'm like, dang, like I wanna be on that team. Like this is sick. Like I still loved basketball at the time. And I remember at the time, or this he's still a coach there, but Coach Jamie and Coach Dan, they gave me a shot trying out for the team, and I made the team. And I really learned a lot. Like even just also being mentally tough in there. I remember his still to this day, I've never had a more intense practice than Jamie's practices. Man, he and I think dude, I think in the past, I got to say 5 years at Worcester Academy, they've gone to 3 championships, 3 or 4 championships. They won. I don't know if they. I might be mistaken. When I was there, they won back-to-back championships, and we went before the back-to-backs. We went my sophomore year. We ended up losing, and I think this. So they didn't win last season or 2 seasons ago. My senior year. No, no. Sorry, my freshman year in college, they didn't win, and then this past year they won. So I think that's 3 in the past 5. Yeah, probably 3. Yeah, 3 championships in the past 5 years. So he knows how to win, man.
Those
Like
coaches know what they're
yeah,
doing.
he knows what he's doing. And I remember like, dude, he was so intense. Like this dude, like screaming, like this crazy, like this Irish guy screaming, like yelling all types of stuff, like I remember, I don't even remember half the stuff he said, but like it, it was you said some crazy out of pocket stuff.
Oh man.
But dude, like this dude, like he just broke everybody down. Like he had like some of our top guys going D1. Like I remember they would be fighting back at him. Like he was intense, man. Like he just brought it every day, and I think that's why his team was so good, right? He brought it every single day, and like that intensity and that mindset of just like you know just that's what got him his wins, and that's what made everyone around him, obviously on the team so good. I think that's why like they sent so many guys to big schools and all that. But even through his practices, like off the field, he was the best. Like off the field, he was like almost like your second dad. Like he loved
Mm.
you, and he would buy you food whenever you wanted. And I mean, he'd do your laundry if you didn't have laundry money, whatever it was. Like he was just always the first guy. Like if you just needed to go into his office and talk or whatever it was, like he had your back. And I mean, still to this day, like I still talk to him. It's funny, man. I wanted to play my junior year high school. I wanted to, I only played or my second junior. I reclassed. So my second junior, I wanted to go back and play.
You did reclass. I noticed that because
Yeah,
you're an older guy and
yeah,
you're.
yeah. So I reclassed because sophomore year COVID, we didn't have a season. So
Yeah.
I only played 3 varsity seasons in high school, 2 full seasons in which I played every day. So I really only had 2 seasons in which I played every day. Um, so that's part of the reason why I did it. Just to give myself a little bit more time to develop, and it ended up working out. But what was I saying about Jamie? I think yeah, like still to this day, like I mean, I tried to go back and play my second junior year, and he's like, this is when I was getting calls from schools. He's like, nah, man. He's like, you're not playing. Like, he's like, you gotta go focus on baseball.
Wow.
And he's like, I love you. Like, I want you to be on this team, but dude, like, you're getting calls, man. Like, you gotta lock that in. Like, go secure your future. And I think it was tough because he didn't want. I think he didn't want me getting hurt playing basketball right before the
That's true.
season. And this is right before I had any like offers. Like I was just getting calls, and obviously he was hearing about it from the baseball coach and all that. And but like when I say like he really like I feel like he really shaped me, and he yeah he really looked out for us and cared about our future. So all those people at Worcester did, man. It was a good spot. So
That's great, and
yeah.
especially a coach like that. Sometimes coaches can be selfish. Like, I want to win now. I want another athlete on my team. But he looked out for you going into college and focused on your career on another sport instead of that season in his own sport. Which is impressive. And reclassing. Was that difficult at all? Especially you make friends in your own grade, and that was more for athletics, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Athletics, yeah.
yeah, so like you reclassed for athletics. What was that process like?
It was tough. At first I was like, I didn't want to do it at first, man. I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to graduate my friends. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, walk the stage, whatever, with them. At first I was totally against it. I was like, dude, like I do not want to do this. And and then I started giving it more thought, and um,
Well, whose idea was it?
it was my partly my idea, and I think it was a combination of my baseball coach too as well. Because they're like, dude, like I think if you reclass, like you're gonna open up your recruiting window a lot more, give yourself more time, and more schools are gonna start to look at you. And I was like, like I didn't had zero looks before I reclassed. Like maybe I think I had maybe two D3 schools looking at me. Um, and at first I was just so against it, and then I ended up, long story short, I ended up doing it, and it just completely they were right. It just completely opened up the recruiting, like schools that I never would have thought of started reaching out, and yeah, I'm glad I did it, and I made new friends, like uh, new kids in that next grade or the grade below that I didn't really. I mean, Worcester's it's a small place, right? So everybody kind of knows each other in the grades, but still, like you kind of hang out with your grade and the people in your class
Exactly.
um, every day. You know how it is, and it was definitely new. I had to kind of be a little bit out of myself, and I had to start meeting new people because I'm like, all right, like these people are leaving this year. Like,
Mhm.
if I don't have anybody, I'm gonna be sitting here by myself, right? So, um, that was definitely yeah. So I had to get out like my shell a little bit. I try to be like quiet, right? Like I don't need to be all loud and be the center of attention. Um, so I had to kind of get out myself and meet new people, make new friends, and I mean, it's funny, man. Like I talk to those kids in that grade below more than I talk to the kids in the other grade. That
That's crazy. That
so
you grew up with your
yeah,
entire life. It's
and I mean, yeah, I still keep in touch with them, right? And I think that's what's so special at Worcester is like the connections, the relationships that you make really do last a lifetime. Like from my freshman year 6 years ago. Dang man, I'm getting old.
don't tell
6 years.
me, man. I'm a year older than
But
you.
6 years is crazy. But it's like I still talk to those kids that I was best friends with 6 years ago. Like it's crazy. It's like we all keep in touch, and I mean people go back and visit there, and I mean I went back and visited I think last year, and I mean just it's that place is really like family, man. Like I wish um honestly everybody got to experience like what like because I think there's so many stereotypes of prep schools, and you see it in movies that it's all these rich snobby kids, right? And that's definitely not me. Like I had a lot of help there with aid and with some athletic stuff too, but it's a family, man. Like if you go to the right place, like it's you get so close to your teachers, and like a lot of your teachers are working the dorm at night, and whatever it is, like it's such a family. I've never been in a spot where dude, at our baseball games we had the soccer team, we had the football guys, we had the basketball guys, and at the basketball games we had soccer guys and the baseball guys, and then at at like literally every other sport we just go support each other. And I'm like, I've never been a part of this, and it's so different. Like I think being in college, right? Like we've had a couple of teams at our games, but it wasn't like Worcester, man. Like we used to like I'd be at lunch sitting with the soccer kids, like everybody, and it was just the basketball kids, whatever sport there was, like the kids on the track team and football team, like everybody was just cool with each other. It was good. It was fun.
And
So
it's kind of like a college experience before college, you think, right? Like
yeah,
going to a school
totally,
like that.
totally, man. It was great, and I think it definitely helped me a lot too because I lived 5 days, so 5 days during the week I'd be there. Then the weekends I would come home, right? And just being able to get that experience, like being being on campus, and kind of prepares you for college because college you have so much free time. Like it was a little bit more structured than college, right? Like you have dorm parents doing check-ins at night, and yeah, you had like a study hall time for 2 hours.
It was more structured in
Um,
prep.
yeah, and more, yeah, sorry, in prep.
Gotcha.
And then in college, right? You just like, all right, you go to class and you can do whatever you want. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? For the rest of the and some people choose that time to study and do a little bit, and others just, all right, like it's free for all. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want now. So
Were you prepared for that when you went to college, or were you like, wait, well, I have a lot more time on my hands?
I think I was, but I wasn't prepared for like how much time I actually did have. You
Right.
know what I mean? And what I wasn't prepared though was that first fall. Like, I mean, I remember the first day of practice. I'm like, yo, like every single kid on this team is nasty. It was just unreal. Like how good some of these guys were. Like, I mean, I remember like our shortstop Elliot Good, like my freshman year in college. Like he was like, I'm like, this is the best shortstop I've ever seen. Like this kid is nasty, and he's playing pro ball right now, indie ball. So he was a professional shortstop, and I mean like so many other guys that we had a catcher to go play pro ball. Like it was just different. Like these kids are gross. Like I was like, yeah, I gotta work, and I wasn't prepared for like how much longer the practices are. Like practice in high school, maybe like an hour and a half, and then you go to the fall practice because fall is like that's like
The
that's
grind time.
yeah, it's a grind time. So
Yeah.
like for football
The
guys,
spring.
yeah, exactly. The
Yep.
spring and summer is like where it gets
Oh
bad for
yeah,
y'all, right?
so bad.
Yeah.
I
So
know how that is, man.
so we out there for like 3.5 hours, and then
And that's all day. Like you got
that's after, yeah, all day. Like that's after lift at 8 o'clock in the morning,
exactly.
or yeah, 8 a.m. lift we had, and then you go to class, and then 3 hour practice. And I was like, yo, this is different. I'm like, I remember like our second day of practice, like my legs were like cramping up, sore. I'm like, yo, I was not prepared for this. Like, I mean, you can only do so much, but actually being in it, like, it's just different. Like your body's got to adjust to it. And I remember I was like so exhausted after like these, practices in college, and but it makes you better, man. Like you get so much reps, and you get,
A
you're
gallon of water
just
becomes your best friend sometimes.
yeah, literally, just straight. You gotta hydrate, and all that stuff just started to really like. All right, like this is why people say hydrate. This is why people say eat well, sleep well, because this is like it's a full time job being a college
Oh yeah.
athlete. So,
Did you guys have meetings a lot or no? In baseball.
not really, man. Like we honestly this year more like we had a lot of we had like a little group chat, and we did like a lot of scouting, and I did a lot of scouting myself too for just like opposing pitchers and stuff like that. And our hitting coach did that, really helped out. And I mean, there's so much analytical stuff
Oh
with
yeah.
sports and all that. And obviously you can go look up any pitcher you want and find their percentage of pitches and what they're throwing, where they're throwing, what counts they're throwing stuff in. And I mean, there's so much of that. So we did a lot of that stuff. Not really. I mean, it's kind of different everywhere. We didn't really do too many meetings. A couple like all team meetings, but I mean that was really it, man. So
Gotcha. And then
yeah.
you talked a lot about coaching and going to CCSU. What's it like playing under that coaching staff? And how did they shape your college baseball career so far?
Right, right. So I will say so straight up, like it's definitely an older style of coaching that they do over there, and some people buy into it, some people don't. And obviously, like our head coach, Coach Hickey, he's been there for like, probably 25 years at this point, and I mean he's coach of the year this year. The man knows how to win, man. He's got I don't know how many rings he has. You go in his office, he's got NEC trophies after NEC trophies. Like they don't even fit on his desk. Like, he's got them on the floor in the corner. Like he's got so many of them things. So um, I mean, it's definitely I mean, it's good, man. Like, it's definitely, I will say it's hard. Like, they're hard on you, and they're gonna beat you down, and um, really see what you're made out of. But you gotta be tough, man. Like, it's kind of like tough love. That's what our Coach Hall says. It's just tough love, right? Like, we're gonna beat you down, but at the end of the day, like, we got your back, and we just want you guys to be tough men after life and after baseball, whenever that ends, because it's gonna end for everybody at some point, right? So it's definitely, I will say, man, it's hard. Like, practices are hard, and even in the fall, like, remember, like, Coach Hickey, he had us on that dude. He had us running the track, like, we were running miles, man, conditioning.
For what?
For conditioning, man, like, he was. I'm telling you, man, like, he was. It was no joke, man. Like, this fall, and I remember we were like, "Yo, like, this is terrible. Like, this this sucks, right?" But it made us mentally tough. Like, I gotta say, like, we really, like, honestly bonded over it. Like, that's how bad it was, and we had such a strong, like, team dynamic because of it. Going into the spring, and, like, just all the stuff that we went through, like, all those miles that we ran on the track, and guys are like, like, sorry to be gross here, guys are throwing up and all this
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like, how it be,
But
and
you bond over it,
yeah, you bond over it, and it's like you get it done, and then obviously everyone. We had such a close team, man. That was a really special year this past year. And yeah, man, that's really what made us, like, um just so good. And I think our practices, we do the same thing every day, and that's what. And it gets repetitive, right? And it's like, yo, like, we're doing the same thing. Like,
When's
we're
this gonna
going over,
end?
bunts again. Like, we're doing bunts again, and
Hey, I've seen
it,
your bunting though.
dude, I'm telling you, man. Like, it's, and I wish I utilized it more. Like, this is a little sidetrack. Wish I utilized it more, um, in the college season. But
Right.
man, it's like, if you're a fast guy, like, that's a free hit. Like, you maybe have a 1-2 bat at bats, and I mean, you just go up there, that third baseman, that first baseman playing back, you just get that thing down there and run.
Run.
You know what I mean? And it shows up in the scoring book as a single, like,
Shows up as a
it's
line drive.
literally like
Really?
it's a single, line, like a line drive against the wall or whatever in the outfield. Like, it's the same thing as a
Same
bunt.
thing.
So I mean, obviously you can't bunt every single at bat, but I mean, definitely it helps your average. I wish I utilized it more in college, but I mean, yeah, we do. So to go back to what I was saying, like, we do the same thing every day there, man. Like, we start off with, obviously you stretch, you throw, guys can long toss. So I was like, really big in the long toss, just trying to get my arms stronger, right? Um, and then we do this little drill called 4-man, and infielders go take ground balls for like 30 minutes straight. And then outfielders, we got a machine set up, and we're just taking outfield reps, just taking reps. We're moving it around. We're taking different angles. Um, and then we'll do, like, sometimes we'll do bunt defense after that. Sometimes we'll do, let's see, like, rundowns. He was really big into the rundowns, even though we probably only had like one or two this whole year, but just big into that. Just the little things, right? And then sometimes we do this game called one pitch, where you start off with 2 strikes. We got the machine set up. Obviously got guys in the field, and then you got some guys hitting. And you kind of just like a live simulate scrimmage, right? Like, they feed the machine, and you got 2 strikes, so you got to go up there and swing it, right? You got to go up there and be aggressive. And then sometimes we do BP. We do BP groups, and we're working on, like, sliders or fastballs, right? You can pretty much set a machine anything you want. Um, and then obviously on our scrimmage days in the fall, you scrimmage, right? But just doing that, I mean, we do that every single day for like 3 months, right, in the fall, and it's like the days just they don't really feel real, because you're just showing up there doing the same thing, and you're like, oh, like, let's do something else. But I think just those reps, right? Like, um, that's what makes a team good. Like, seriously, because it's like you do the little things, the boring things, right? And you know, you get in the game, and that's what it is. You got to, it comes down to, can you play catch? Can you make plays? Can you field ground balls? Can you catch fly balls? And can you hit the ball?
Right.
So a lot of that, and I mean, guys obviously got work in outside of practice too. Like, guys would show up early, and it's definitely great. We have a turf field, so we can pretty much hit in the field whenever you want, right? Like we don't have to tarp it or any of that, which is nice.
You have to
So
tarp it?
yeah, you don't have to tarp a turf field, man.
Oh, wait. Go
Yeah.
slow.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I missed that turf part.
Yeah. We got a turf, so that's definitely the beauty about it. And I mean, we got a cage, obviously an outdoor cage, and um, really nice facility close
Mm,
by. It's you have access to 24/7.
right.
So I mean, man, it's like doing those boring things, man. I think that's what makes the team so great, and that's why we were good, man. You know,
Yeah.
that's there's no really else to put it. Like I don't think any other team in the NEC was running 2-3 miles a day in the fall on the track. I seriously don't think so because number one, I'll be honest, like I don't think it's really healthy to do that, but we were like we were doing it, man. We were doing it, and I don't think anybody else was doing it. But we won, and I mean, I guess hats off to Coach Hickey, Coach Hall, Coach Bono, Coach Nena. Like they made us tough, and they sat there and watched, and they're like, "You guys got to do it, man." Like I don't know. I mean, we'd be talking to the assistants like, "Yo, like we really got to run this thing again." They're like, "You got to do it, man." and so I mean, yeah, it's definitely a tight ship, man. And it's like if you don't buy into the style over there, like you're not gonna really make it. Like they'll just they'll just kick you right out, like and find somebody else. I think it's pretty much like that anywhere, right? Like I
Yeah.
mean, with the portal, like you can find a new guy like that, and it's crazy because it's like we're so replaceable as athletes. Like people don't realize
Great.
um, it's like you can just go find somebody else and find somebody new like that. Like there's so many athletes looking for opportunities and looking for homes. So it's like you really gotta just all right, I'm here to work. Like, you know, I may not like some of the things that they do or any coach does, whatever it is, but it's like they're giving me an opportunity. They're giving us opportunities. Like we're here to play ball. Let's play ball. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
And the same thing goes for athletes too in the transfer portal. Like if they don't like a coaching style, they'll be like, "I don't want to be here." But it says something when a team sticks around when you're getting put through the ringer like that, and go
yeah,
through
and
the
it's
process.
we had so many returning guys, and well, a couple guys left, right? Like I said, some guys don't want to buy in, some guys want to
Exactly.
explore the portal, which it's good and bad, right? I think if you put up amazing stats, right, sure it can be good. Maybe go to like a like a bigger school, whatever it is. Like that's what some guys do for the portal, but I mean, it's risky, man. Like you're shying away from an opportunity and from a scholarship, maybe even um, to go and see if you can get another one, which it's definitely scary. Like it's like definitely a lot of kids like even like we had some kids last year, man. Like some guys found other spots, some guys didn't really find spots as good, and some guys they missed out on a regional this year, right? Like they
Exactly.
went to a different spot and didn't go to regional, so. Um, it's definitely like portal. I feel like it's risky, right? But we had a lot of returning guys that have been there since their freshman year, and I think that they built that bond up, and um, they really built that team. Like guys, we had guys obviously like Aiden's been there all 4 years, right? And Kyle Gordon and so many of these other guys that returned, um, you know, and like Gianno Merlonghi. He's one of our. We actually played against
Played
him
in
last night. Yeah, like he's been there for a minute. So many guys that just really built that place up, and Drew Munn. He's also on our team. Pitcher, been there since his freshman year. I think that's what really builds a team is like guys that have been there, stay there. You know what I mean? And um, it's pretty cool, man. You know, getting ourselves a ring. So uh, yeah, it was great. It was a good year for sure.
If you were to
But
describe your role on the CCSU team in one word, what would it be? Why?
so yeah, that's a great question, man. So first half of the year, I was playing a lot. So I was definitely like I was probably splitting first half of the year, or in some weeks it was every day. And then second half of the year, I was bench guy. Like I was like I wasn't really playing, and Um, like I'm there to bring energy, and obviously, like if God forbid one of the guys got hurt, like I'll be in there. But I was bench guy, and I think like it's humbling, right? It's humbling to be a bench guy, but people don't realize bench guys and the guys in the dugout are just as important as the guys that aren't out there. And even like, because obviously I think it's a little bit different for pitchers, right? Like you're not pitching every single day, so um, a lot of our pitchers were in the dugout with us, and some of our best arms starters, they're in the dugout with us most of the days of the week. They start once a week, and then they're in the dugout. Like one of our Saturday guy, Vinny, he just transferred to Rutgers. So it's definitely a tough loss for us. But I mean, he was a dog, man. Like he just balled out every time he was out there, and he has a pretty cool story too, because I think he came from a D2 post last year, and then
Yeah, no post.
yeah, and then transferred to Central, and then now he's going to Rutgers Power Five. So he went from D2 to a Power Five in the matter of 2 years, which is like unbelievable. And that kid's a grinder.
For him.
I mean, everyone on our team is, but um, so obviously, where was I going with this? But
Your role,
yeah, right. Um, so yeah, he's in the dugout like doing the scoring books, and it's like, dude, like you're our best arm. He's like, I'm like what's I didn't say this to him, but it's cool to see like, everyone like in the dugout plays a role in on the team, and whether it's like my role last year being a red shirt I was just doing the books and kind of like, yeah, I'm just here to bring energy. And my second half of the year, I was just here to bring energy, right? Um and I think everybody kind of goes through that, and it's just as important as being out there on the field, because I kind of saw both sides of it, right? Like first half of the year I was starting a lot, um, and then second half of the year I wasn't. So I was like, you know what? Like I can either sit here and pout and not bring anything at all to the team, or I can be the loudest one in the dugout and you know try and bring the energy up as much as I can, right? And
Yeah.
I think it's so important. Like, I mean, I remember the championship game and our little run in the NEC tournament. Like, the stadium was so loud. Like, it was so loud, and I mean, it was even louder in the regional. We couldn't even hear us. Like, in the regional down to Auburn, like I think there were 7,500 people, and I mean, you got to be loud, man. Like, I mean, the crowd's loud. Like, you got to keep guys up, and I think that's like it's important to show that the guys in the dugout, like, we have your back. The guys that are out there on the field.
And you said you're a quiet guy, so it's kind of surprising. You're like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna get out there, and make some
right. Yeah,
noise.
it's definitely a little bit different. I think summer ball is a little bit different, right? Because guys are a little bit more relaxed, and we're kind of just here to just get reps and stuff like that. But I think it's definitely going to change for us going, to summer ball. I think we're what, number one team in the
Oh yeah.
league, right?
Oh yeah.
So we're
Oh
going
yeah.
to definitely make a playoff run, and I think it's going to change real quick, right? When we get to
Yes,
playoffs, like
sir.
it's definitely gonna be back to that. All right, like let's win this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to bring that mentality every day, but yeah. So my role was bench guy second half of the year, and yeah, man, I was just there to bring energy and to bring support, and um, I think it really, and everyone else that was on the bench too. We did an amazing job. Like we had those guys' backs, and um, you know, if anything happened, like we were right there chirping with them or whatever it was. So yeah, it was weird. So my role, I feel like I had kind of two roles, right? Like I was in there first half, and then I lost the job, man. That's okay. Like you got to just keep working and understand that it's a team game, and the team success is the most important thing, right? It's not an individual sport. It's not one guy in the field. You know what I mean? So
Sir.
um, yeah.
Now everything happens for a reason. Now you're in Keene, New Hampshire. You're here playing for the SwampBats. What brought you here, and what was the big reasoning behind
Right,
picking the
right.
SwampBats?
Yeah, so I mean, I remember I'm not gonna lie, like I was just looking for an NECBL opportunity,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And I remember I knew it was a big reach because it's an upperclassmen league, right? Mostly got juniors and seniors in this league. But I'm like, I like to challenge myself, and I wanted to, you know what? I know it's a junior senior league, but I want to get better. And to get better, you got to go play in the best leagues, and you got to go see the best competition around, right? And my ultimate goal is to obviously be in the Cape League someday. But and this is like you got to just it's a stepping stone, right? And you got to kind of a lot of guys that play in here end up in the Cape, so that was kind of why I wanted to, right? So I remember um, back in the fall, end of summer last year, like I was just emailing different teams, like, hey, like this is who I am. Like you gotta be like a self advocate for yourself in this game, right? And obviously I played in the Futures League the past 2 years before. This is another New England college league, um, and I was like an all star in that league, did pretty well.
Slight flex.
Um, last summer, so I was like, obviously I didn't have the college stats, but I had those stats that, and this is a league that there's a bunch of different guys from all over and a couple Power Five guys in there as well. So I did well in that, and I remember I was just emailing like every team. I was like, "Yo, like, this is who I am. Like, I'd love to play for you guys. Like, let me know if you'd be interested." And um, I only got two responses out of I don't know how many teams are in this league. 13 maybe.
13, that's right.
13, right? So I got two responses, and two. It's funny. Two of them. It was from obviously from Keene, and then from Bristol, who we just played last night. But so Bristol, they were a little bit, half and half. They're like, all right, like we like you, like you got some potential, but we gotta wait. I can't give you an exact answer right now. Um, and then Keene, like I remember, I think my pitching coach, Coach Hall, he's got a good relationship with our president, Mr. Watterson, and you know, uh, Coach Hall helped me a lot getting set up here, and I was obviously in touch with Mr. Watterson before coming here too, and he was like, "Dude, like we're excited to have you. Like, like he gave me an opportunity. Like I signed pretty early. I signed last fall, I think. So it was pretty early, man. Like I was one of the first ones on the roster, which is pretty cool.
This is before you
Being
even had the 2025 season.
so being a young guy, like I was on the roster already, and um, I mean I was excited, man, because obviously there's winning history up here.
Oh yeah.
There's some banners, and obviously like you know Coach Mack and Coach O'Brien, Coach Baines, right? Like they know how to win, and obviously they all got great resumes, and all that. So I was super excited to be up here, and that's kind of how I got set up, man. Like they just sometimes you gotta they just give you an opportunity, and I think at first it was I think it was like a temporary opportunity. So it was kind of like, all right, like let's see how this kid does. Like he's a younger guy, like let's see how he does the first couple weeks, and um, kind of just ran with it,
Here
man.
we are.
You know
You're
what I
still
mean?
here.
So I'm still here. I
A month in.
I didn't, a couple weeks ago, I didn't think I'd still be here, to be honest. So
That's awesome. Man.
I definitely got to keep going out there and doing what I can, right? Like that's how it is anywhere. You gotta go and produce. Um, but yeah, that's how I got set up, man. And I definitely am grateful to all of them for believing in me, right? Like I obviously had a kind of tough second half of my college, my first year on the field, and um, to them to kind of believe in me and not just drop me right before I got here. I appreciate that. So uh, yeah, that's how I'm here, man. So
Yes, sir. And
yeah,
now we talk about the team's success.
right.
They're 12-2 right now. They had an 11-game winning streak, breaking the franchise record for consecutive wins. But you suffered the first loss a couple of days ago, back on Thursday
Hmm.
against Upper Valley. What was the mindset leaving that game?
Leaving that game, right? So I think it stays the same, right? Like obviously, you know, we're all thinking, like let's go win out every single game. Like that's what that's
It
just
felt
not
like that was the case.
right. Yeah, that's I mean, like what we talked about earlier, like baseball is just a game of ups and downs, and sometimes teams not gonna really win. We can't win every single game, right? As much as we all want to. There's a lot of good teams in this league, a lot of good players. And I think the mindset just stayed the same. Like I mean, I feel like we have such a close team bond already, which is crazy. We've only been here
Yeah, I've
couple
noticed that.
weeks, and I mean, even the buses, like we're all playing mock, like we're all playing the games, right? All the baseball
Don't
players
pick
out
me as the
there.
cop anymore.
Yeah, all the baseball players that know that. And yeah, I mean, we just got right back on the bus. We got back to what we do. We played mock, and I mean, got back at it last night and got another win, and now we're back on the win column. So I think it's just like you just have to have it seriously a short mentality. Obviously, it was kind of a little heartbreaking, right? Like
Mm.
we lost a streak, but now it's like, all right, like let's get another streak going.
Yeah,
You know
why
what I
not?
mean? And it was a close game, definitely a little freak thing at the end with the walk off, but you know, hats off to them. They're a good team and they battled and um, yeah, man, I think it's good, right? Like you lose and you step back a little bit. You think, all right, like hey, like this is what we did wrong. Um, this is where maybe we got a little complacent, whatever the case was. Sometimes you just the other team has the other hand, but it was a tight game, and we had chances. I think myself included, I had an opportunity with runners on second and third, and I didn't cash in. So maybe that changes the outcome of the game, right? But I mean, you just have to keep moving forward and just keep getting better, right? Um, that's all you can really do. So that's kind of the mindset right now. Is like we're not like letting it affect us. Like I think we weren't even thinking about it yesterday. Like we're all right. Like Bristol's a good team. Like we got to go in here. Like we got to beat them. They got a good crowd and they had some good momentum earlier on. Like we were definitely. I think we were down a little bit at one point in the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, there's
Um,
two.
yeah, I think we are down
Oh,
one or two.
Bristol?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was actually an early lead.
So
We went up 2-0
we went up two
last night.
nothing and then they
Yeah.
tied it. I think
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that's what it was. But
And
yeah.
then they
So
went ahead 3-2. My
and
bad.
then yeah, they went ahead. Yeah, I feel like they went ahead at one point. So yeah, it's the same thing, right? Like you just gotta go out there like each at bat at a time, each pitch at a time, each play at a time on the field, and the combination of all that focus, like that led to a great win by
Yeah.
us at the end, right? So I think the mindset it's honestly it stayed the same, right? It's like all right, like we're still good, like we're still in first place. We can't get complacent, right? But we got to just keep battling, and we got to just keep kind of doing what we're doing. I feel like we're playing good baseball, and we have to just ride it. You know what I mean? So
How did it feel going on that 11-game winning streak? How was that vibe?
vibes were crazy, man. Like it almost felt like a fever dream, man. Like we're just showing up to the field, and we're like, yo, we're gonna win again. And then like
And then you
we
did.
got closer and closer. Like yo, like we might break this little streak that we've had that's been held for I don't know how long. It's been some time now, I think. So the vibes were great, man. The vibes still, even after we lost, like the vibes are still there. Like we got some really good players, man. Like I'm fighting to kind of get in there right now. But we got a good team, and it's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and a lot of like selfless, humble guys that got guys from all these other, these crazy big time schools on our team, and um, just so many guys are just so selfless, and they're like, yeah, like let's win, like, let's play baseball,
Yeah.
and I think that's what's so cool about summer ball. Like you get guys from all these different spots, like guys that have been in regionals, guys that have, that are at Power Five, Power Four schools. I think it's Power Four now, but
Right.
at these crazy big time schools, and guys that I don't know if we probably have one or two, maybe some guys that almost got drafted out of high school, some guys that are gonna get drafted. Like it's pretty cool being around it and like hearing how everyone's different upbringing, everyone's different stories because we're all chasing that end goal of getting that call to go on to the next level.
That's
So
right.
yeah.
Yeah. And in that lost Upper Valley, there were a lot of positives from that game,
hmm
especially from the offense. So does that go in the rare category of a morale win, or is a loss a loss?
I think yeah. I don't think it's blamed on anybody. I think it's a team effort loss, right? Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of things that we could have did a little bit better, and I don't want to sit here and blame anybody because I think I had a big chance myself, but I think you lose as a team, right? Like there's 9 guys on the field, and we definitely could have did a lot of different things differently, but I think it's good, right? It's a learning moment. You sit back and reflect, like, okay, like when we got certain guys on, like we got to capitalize. Like I got to capitalize, and yeah, I mean that's what it is. You just gotta. Baseball's always a learning game, a learning moment, man. You got to just keep moving forward, and that's kind of like what we're going with right now. So
Sure. Now, you started that game on Thursday and made an impact. You did with some impressive at bats. And what was going through your mind when you found out you were getting that start for the first time in a good few games?
yeah, that's a good question. I think so definitely like being one of the younger guys and fighting to be in there every day. Like I think what's so important about it is just you got to just be ready, man. You got to be ready for and any opportunity at any time, right? Like even last night I wasn't starting, and then fortunately one of our guys like wasn't feeling too well, and I had to step up and go in there. I didn't really do too much yesterday, but I think the key importance of always being ready, like whether you're on the bench or whether you're starting, because anything can happen, and like God forbid somebody gets hurt, but that's just how the game is, man. Like you got to just always be ready to step up and be ready to go in there. So I think for me, just it was just preparing myself every day as if I'm starting, and even if my name's not in there, like I just got to be ready, and I got to be ready for it, any opportunity, because um, yeah, man, that was I wasn't really I didn't know if I was gonna start or not, but I mean, it kind of just yeah, just I went in there and did my normal stretching routine and took BP, do what I usually do, and I ended up seeing my name on there, and it's like, all right, like let's go,
Yeah.
let's get it, you know what I mean? And wish we ended up getting the win, but yeah, it was good. It was a decent day at the plate. Um, but yeah, I think it's just you got to always have that mindset of like, all right, like I got to show up and I got to be ready, because you only get a couple of bats a game. So,
Yeah.
and obviously being in the field as well, just keeping that focus, and it's tough keeping the focus for three hours, whatever how long a baseball game is, but that's what you got to do, man. So
Yeah, and I know you're a team guy, and I've seen you before the games, some of those games, and you're just telling me I'm going to do whatever I can to help this team win. You're in the dugout, you're still cheering on your teammates, and you have made a lot of late appearances in games, especially with that speed pinch running. It's impressive to watch, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I do what I can, man. That's what I bring to the table, and I mean, whatever chance I get, like that, I can utilize that to help us win. That's what I'm gonna try and do, man.
Now, what were you expecting going into the season for the team and even yourself?
Yeah, so I definitely knew that you look at our roster and some other guys' rosters and some other teams, and we got a really good really good roster. If you look down and you really break down all the numbers and all that, like our pitching has just been unbelievable. You know what I mean? And they're honestly really bailing a lot of us out. Us hitters. I think we gotta we have some dogs, man. But like there's definitely some times where we definitely could have stepped it up a little bit, right? But I mean, I definitely think that obviously you want to go in and you want to go win it. It's like all right, like let's especially coming off of winning um, this past college season. It's like all right, like you just bring that. I'm here to bring that winning mentality, that winning mindset. Like it feels good to win. And I know these coaches want to win. I know Mr. Washington wants to win again.
Oh yeah,
And um, yeah. So I think that's definitely the first thing that I'm thinking of coming into the season. And the second, obviously, the second thing is as a player, and what I want is I mean I wanted to come in here and I want to develop, right, and I think that's definitely happening. It's definitely an adjustment, um, and there's definitely, like what I said, there's been some ups and downs at the plate, but yeah, I mean one of my goals is to just I want to hit over 300 in this league. It's really hard to do, but that's definitely my goal right now, and
you're almost there. You're in the 290s right now, man.
yeah, so I'm close. Like I think I was above 300
Oh, you were.
up until yesterday. So obviously it's the games are up and downs, right? You just gotta like just gotta keep going at it, right? But that's one of my goals, and obviously I wanna rack up some steals too. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
sir.
that's what I do. Um, but
Mm.
yeah, I think first and foremost it starts with the team success, right? Like I want the guys to win. I want everyone else to go out there and ball out. And I mean, there's nothing like winning games, right? Even if you have a bad day at the plate, like you still won the game, man. Like that's the ultimate goal, I feel like. So That's probably I think that was the mindset coming in here, and obviously you don't really know until you start playing if you have a shot at playoffs or whatever it was. But I knew we were gonna have a good shot at making a run with this group of guys that we have. Even looking at our roster before actually being here. So
And you say that team bond helps. Describe that team bond that the Swamp Bats have. That's like
right.
no other.
I think it's crazy, man. I think it just starts with everybody's just so selfless. Seriously, like I feel like everyone's just so close, and we just so many cool guys that I've met. And I seriously think it starts with the mob games on the bus, man. Like I'm serious. It's just we do it every road trip, and I mean we're all just it's something to take our mind off of baseball. Like it's something to take our mind off of the 95 mile per hour fastball we're about to go face. You know what I mean? Which is fast and it's hard to hit. um, but it keeps. I think that's where it starts, and I think our coaches do a great job of like we talk before every game. Like Coach Mack, he'll talk to us before every game, and even just for every game, we got a team prayer going. A lot of guys, are Christian on the team, which I think is great. And that really helps. Just everyone circling up and like, hey, we're in this together, like through the ups and downs. And obviously off the field, guys hang out, guys go out to eat, and guys do whatever. But there's so much time leading up to the game that you have with the guys and with the guys on the team, right? Like you show up to the field at like 2:30, whatever it is, 3 o'clock, and the game's at 6:30. So you got a couple hours to just kick it and you know chat baseball, and obviously in the dugout, like you have a couple hours during the game, right? And I think it just starts with that, and just being able to just yeah, man, like we're all playing the same sport. We all have the same end goal of getting a call from the big league guys, right? And I think that's where it starts being on the team. So
Yeah, man.
yeah,
It's funny you say like a lot of selflessness going into it, and then you brought in Mafia. You were the most selfish Mafia player
I
I've
know.
ever seen, especially when
I
it
will
comes to the
say.
nurse.
So I'll be honest with my medic strategy. Sometimes I'll save people. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna save myself to the end and figure out who the mop is. So you gotta understand it's for the ultimate end goal, right? But
Right.
it's definitely, yeah, I see it as a little selfish. It's a little selfish. But yeah.
Speaking of self goals outside of Mafia, you
Yeah.
are a base stealer. You're
Yeah.
on the base on the Swamp Bats. You're tied. You're still tied for the team lead at 7 with Mike O'Brien. And what's your approach when you get on base, and how do you read pitchers so well?
Right. I'm just trying to get the second. Like I get the it sounds crazy, but I get on first and I'm like, you know what? Like sometimes I'll mix it up. I don't go first pitch every time. I don't go second pitch every time. I don't go third pitch every time. But I mix it up. But I want to get there. I want to get myself in scoring position because I know if I get a good lead, I get a good jump. I'm pretty confident that nobody can throw me out. And I mean, people may take that as a little bit cocky, but you got to be confident in this game, man. Like that's like I'm just like the type of guy like you can line me up with anybody. Like I'm faster than you, and that's just the mindset. Like, all right, like I got to get myself in scoring position because now all this guy has to do is when I get to second base, all he has to do is hit a single and I'm scoring.
Mm.
Like that's it. Like I'm scoring on a single. So, and sometimes like depending on the situation, I'll steal third too. If you're not gonna
Less than 2 hours.
if you're not gonna hold me on, man, like I'll take third. I haven't really done it a lot, but I mean, why not? I don't want to make the last out of third, but I mean, if you're just gonna give me another bag, I'll take it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the mindset, man. Is like, you gotta like. I think everybody's got their own accolades to say, right, on a team. Like you got different type of hitters, right? That's why the lineup is different. Like you got the leadoff guy, like Mike, who's been unreal for us this year, man. He's a dog, and we just picked up Xavier from Houston, who's a freaking triple crown. Like,
He's
you know what I mean? We got
crazy.
so many dogs on this team, man.
Yeah.
Like Marshall,
It's impressive.
Romano, like everybody. Like you can go down the whole lineup, everybody.
Mhm.
And got some power guys in there, got some contact guys in there. Um, and I mean, me, like I have like a little bit of pop. I haven't showed it. Like I hit one home run this year in college, but I mean, my thing is like I'm just contact, get on base, play small ball type
Sometimes
of guy.
bunt.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes bunt, like you know what I mean. And That's who I am, and you gotta like embrace it. Like I'm not gonna be a guy that hits 40 home runs. Like as much as I would love that, like that's not really my body type and my build, right? My type is just all right. Like I got to get on base, and I'm pretty confident. Like as Chandler Simpson said it best. Like as soon as he gets on base, like he's in scoring position because I'm gonna take two on you. Like you
Yes,
can throw it
sir.
over a million times, but as soon as that leg lifts, like I'm gone. You know what I mean? So that's what I try to do, man. Is just get myself in scoring position because if I can do that, all the other guys got to do is get a hit. That's another run on the board, which is just gonna help the team win. So
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Now, you made an impact defensively as well. So going back to your base stealing and defensively, what's more satisfying, swiping a bag or robbing a hit?
I say, oh, that's tough, man. I'm gonna say robbing a hit. Like it's just a different feeling. Like even I think it was our first home game. That was my first robbed home run ever, um, which is pretty crazy. I've just never really had like an opportunity. I've had a couple like close, like all right, like this is getting over, and then it's been way out. You know what I mean? But that was like my first probably robbed home run ever, and like I think that was like a robbed 3 run or 2 run. So it's like it changed the outcome of the game, right? And
Exactly.
even I think like versus Newport, like I threw a kid out at second, and that game ended up being. And there was a kid rounding third that play. Like there's like if I don't throw that kid out, like it's a 1 run game or sorry, a tie game, 1-1 game.
Exactly.
So I think that I will say, man, like I think Robin hit because it changes the potential outcome. Like, and yeah, stealing bases could too as well, but I think like I just love it defensively because I love to really pick up the pitchers, and I think they go out there, and I think pitching is probably the hardest position, and like I mean you're controlling the whole game, and pitching like I can't get up there and throw 90 plus with the slider. I couldn't do that to save my life, man. So
For an
I
inning plus?
yeah I could not do that. So I think yeah I got to say Robin a hit, man, because that it definitely changed the outcome of the game, and I feel like I bring that to the table. Like if it's up in the air, I got a chance of getting it. If it's in the park, you know what I mean. So um, I just try to stay aggressive out there, and um, yeah, man, that's what I do out there. So
Yes, sir. Now, what's your? I'm gonna move into a funner segment here to get to end it. But what's your walk up song this summer and why'd you
walk up
pick it?
song. Okay. It's funny. I've had two of them. So I started off with "Time of Our Lives" by Pitbull.
Yep.
I just think I wanted to bring like good vibes to the park. You know what I mean? Like we have a lot of young kids running around, and um, I don't know if many of them even know that song, but I just feel like it's like a all right. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
hear the start of it, like I know my rent was gonna be late. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think you hear the start of it, and it's like all right. Like I mean, I feel like a lot of people know Pitbull. Like he makes music to hype you up, and
But I got just enough. Come on now.
exactly yeah to get up and you know what I mean. So I think like that like I don't know. I just feel like I wanted to bring just good vibes to the park, and like yeah like when I step up to the plate, like this is what you're gonna get. Like you're gonna get this energy, and same thing when I get on base and in the field. Like that's the energy that that I'm gonna be bringing. You know what I mean? And the second one that I changed it to was Nokia by Drake. I feel like
Oh
the
yeah.
beginning. I might have to change it back, low key, but
Nah, nothing's wrong with Nokia. Nokia is a good song.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like like some of the guys were singing it, and then on our team before I actually did it, and then um, I don't know. Like I feel like the beginning of it, it's like,
Who's
like
calling my phone?
it's kind of exactly. You know what I mean? Like it's just I don't know. I feel like it hypes you up, and
Yeah.
I just want to bring that energy to the field and to the game and to the park, and this is what you're gonna be getting out of me. So um, I gotta see. I might have to change it back. I don't know because the Pitbull one was good, but
True.
I mean, there's
It's all
so many
about how you
different
feel.
songs that you can go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's all about like, you superstition at all? Because
You know, I feel like a little bit
you're a
like
little stitious.
yeah, not nothing crazy. I think like because if you are man, like you can't do the same routine every single day. Like I can't take as many swings as I take at a home game versus at a away game. Away game, you're just rolling up and you get 15 swings and that's all you're getting, right? So you got to just lock it in. Like, versus a home game, I can show up a couple hours, take all my T reps, right? And then I can, get on the field and take BP, and I just feel way better, right? Like life is perfect when you're at home, but like you can't you can't always do that. So I think that to an extent, yes, with the routines, the superstitions, um, but at some point, it's like you got to just lock it in, right? And so yeah, to answer your question, like when it comes to stretching routines and all that, like I try to do the same stuff, and nutrition wise, yeah, like I try to keep up with just eating healthy when I can, and um, in terms of the water that I drink and the amount of sleep I get, like I try to keep that stuff the same. But everything else is like sometimes you can't control how you sleep or how you feel, or if you can take a nap before every game. Like sometimes I try to do that, but sometimes you can, and sometimes you just gotta like lock it in. Like your body's not gonna always feel. Most of the time, it's not gonna feel 100%. So
Especially with how long the season is.
right, I think you just gotta. It's like all a mindset. Like all right, like as soon as I put on this jersey, as soon as I step between those lines, like there's only a certain amount of stuff that you can control. All right, like can I control being on time at the plate? Yes. Can I control being ready and positioning myself good in the field? Yes. Can I control where the ball goes? No. Can I control if I catch the ball? Most of the time, yeah. But I mean, a lot of times, like sometimes it makes you bad hop. Sometimes you can't get to every single ball. So I think it just comes with just being ready. And so to answer your question, like a little bit, with my like stretching routine, yes, I feel like I got to do the same stretching routine every day, and that just helps my body get loose. If I don't do anything, or if I do anything less, then I feel like I'm not loose, and I feel like I'm at risk to pull something, which I don't want to happen. So yeah, I feel like that's like the only really superstitions that I have, to be honest.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah.
We talked a little bit about meals there. Do you have any favorite pregame meal or snack?
Oh yeah, I definitely Chipotle's up there, man.
Oh, well,
Chipotle bowl is just
but you can't put anything crazy on there because during the game you can't be like
yeah. Exactly. So before the game, I stay away from sour cream, beans, and
smart.
queso.
Yeah.
Some people may say, "Oh, would you get a dry bowl?" I'm like, before a game, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want my stomach to be bubbling in the field, so I do a lot of Chipotle. Sometimes Panera. Sometimes I'll meal prep like pasta and ground turkey. It's kind of like one of my favorites. It's one of my go-tos. I just like, I don't know, man. It tastes good and I feel good after eating it. So I kind of just that's pretty much what I eat really like every day, to be honest. And I think nutrition is so important. Like if you trust me, there's a difference as you get older. Like you eat a Big Mac before a game, or you eat rice and chicken or something good. And as an athlete, like the difference. You know what I mean? So
Learn to not like the fast food as much anymore, which is a sad part of reality.
it is a sad part. Like I will say occasionally, like I'll have like Raising Canes or something um,
Mm.
from the Mass area. But I mean, like, when it comes to McDonald's and all that, like that stuff is trash, man.
Yeah.
It tastes good. It tastes good in the moment, but it is not good, and your body's not gonna feel good after eating it. So,
No, sir.
um, yeah, man, it's like a car. You gotta fuel your car with good gas and um, not the wrong type of gas. So it's the same thing. You know what I mean?
The type of
Um,
wrong type of gas you put into your car.
No, I mean, yeah, obviously there's, you got the premium and the regular and all that. Like, I mean, I'm a regular type of guy, so can't put premium in the regular.
Hey, so who's the most underrated teammate on the Swamp Bats right now? You think
Underrated teammate?
who's the most underrated teammate?
Oh, that's easy. TJ, our catcher.
Little TJ.
Yeah, little TJ, man, and I think he's a dog, man. He's such a good kid, and I know he's had some. I've talked to him about it. Like he's had a little bit of trouble, slumping, and we've all been through it, right?
Mm.
Like everyone happens to everybody, but that kid, like, he shows up every day, and he's like one of the loudest ones on the bench, and you wouldn't even know it. Like I think to me that was an easy pick. Like I love that kid, and I keep trying to tell him, man, like he's a dog. Like he goes to Indiana, like Big Ten baseball. Like that is big time baseball, and he's gonna be just fine. Like he's got one of the strongest arms I've seen. But I think he's already thrown out like 4 or 5 guys. Like literally to end the game last night, like struck a kid out and then just hosed the kid. The kid didn't even slide. Like he was hosed. And that was the game. And I think that I think he's gonna be such a good ball player. And he is such a good ball player right now, but he's got so much more in him, and I think that he's just such a great guy, and he was actually the first guy that I met on the SwampBats. So that's an easy pick for me,
Wow.
TJ. So that's my dog, man.
All right, Gabe. Well, before we go, we're gonna do a segment about how do you do that as a player. For 15 seconds, walk me through how you steal a base. What's going through your mind? How do you do it?
What's going through? So I'll take 1 to 2 steps off the bag. It's always the same, left foot first, then my right foot, and then I'll obviously go to my side, and I'm looking at the pitcher the whole time because he can throw over whenever. So it's kind of just like engraved in my head. Like I practice it out, and then you just got to do it. So I go 1, 2, and I'll take probably 1, 2, and then 3. Sometimes 3.5 shuffles, and I know I'm like, all right, like I can dive back if needed, and I'm pretty far off. So if he lifts his leg, like I got a good lead. Sometimes 4 steps, and then as soon as I see that left field pickup, I'm gone. You know what I mean? I mean, the only times I won't go is if he slide steps, so meanings like he's trying to cheat and throw me out. Like if I see this, I'm like, all right, like I'll give that to you. Sometimes I'll start, and then you just gotta like it's almost like instinct. You do it so many times that you just read it. So like if I see that little slide step, like all right, like I'm gonna shut it down. Like I'll give that to you. But most of the time, if he's doing a slide step, that means he's not getting his best pitch off.
Mm.
So at some point, he's gonna have to lift his leg all the way up and get his momentum to throw the ball hard enough. So as soon as I see, sometimes if a guy's slide stepping and trying to cheat it, like most of the time he's not really going to be throwing strikes, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why, like I mean, guys they lift their leg all the way up for a reason. It's just like hitting, like you got to get momentum behind it. So sometimes if the guy's trying to do that, like I'll wait. I'm like, all right, like I'll be patient. But most of the time, if he gets that leg high enough, I'm gone. You know what I mean? And then I just read it and react. So
Yeah.
um, that's kind of the mindset. And real quick before I end up, I didn't get a chance to talk about it. So I was wearing it in BP the other day, the RC13 Foundation. And I just wanted to shout them out real quick. They've done a lot for me, and their son actually played up here, Ryan Costello.
Mhm.
He ended up, he passed away, which I unfortunately from WPW syndrome. But he went to CCSU, and he was like probably one of the best guys to come out of there. And he was a dog, man, unbelievable person, and I know everybody around here loves him up in Keene. And I'm actually wearing the hat right now. I mean, this is a podcast, can't really see, but
I know you did
you
put
know,
on the fit today.
yeah, I like to whatever speaking thing that I do, like I like to shout him out and shout out the foundation because they're on the come up, and they got some good stuff going on, and it's just really good people around there, and they've shown a lot of love to me and a lot of love and support for my dream of playing at the next level. And yeah, they're just great people. So I want to shout them out, and for all those that are listening to this, definitely go check out the RC13 Foundation. So
And he played professionally, right? He was gonna go. He's went
yes, sir. Yeah, he was.
overseas.
I think you give him. Unfortunately, like his life got shortened, but I think you give him 2, 3 more years, he's in the big leagues, man. Like he was in Double A, he was an All Star. I think he had almost 20 bombs, 20 home runs, power guy. I wish I had his power, but yeah, man, he was on the come up, and he was legit. Like he was good. Like he's got a really good swing, man. Like I'm trying to still make my swing like that. But I just like to shout them out and just spread my love and all that. So
Yeah,
yeah, man.
appreciate that, man. I really
Yes, sir.
appreciate you being here.
Yeah, man.
Thank
I
you for your
appreciate you
time,
having
man.
me, man. This was great.
Of course, thank you. Thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
joining us, man.
Yeah.
And that will wrap up this episode of Chatter in the Swamp. The SwampBats are back in action on Monday night against the Mountaineers at home at Alumni Field. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of Chatter in the Swamp.